1 year ago, I stopped streaming. I did one of those dramatic YouTube apology style videos about it. Yeah, basically I was so burnt out from like staring at a screen and at anime women for 10 hours at a time every week. But now I work at a company making a game with people I actually used to idolize. So story time, here is how I went from a middling streamer to building a video game. And if you're interested in streaming or how to break into the game industry, then keep watching. Part 1, streaming made my eyes hurt, but also my back and my mental health. Streaming is much worse than you think it is. It might feel glamorous to be like, I get to play video games in front of like hundreds of thousands of people every week, but it actually kind of sucks. You have to stare at a camera for like, if you're a full-time streamer, 8 hours a day, get judged by people who don't know you. You have to like basically perform for like 8 hours of a time, and like your social battery and your eyesight really just plummet. And yeah, I was streaming at some point like it was a part-time job. I had like hundreds of viewers, hundreds of thousands of followers across like a bunch of social media. Like not enough to be a big streamer, but enough to like get sponsorships when I wanted like new clothes or something, which was kind of nice. I got invited to events and stuff. Cool. But honestly, like streaming is really tiring. The streaming industry in itself is exhausting. It feels like high school a lot of the time. You like want to know the right people. You want to like collab with like people who are bigger than you. That in itself was like so exhausting. And I have a lot of stories about that actually, if you're ever interested in that. But also even just physically, right? Like you're sitting in a chair for hours and hours and hours at a time, constantly performing like a version of yourself. And I don't think people understand how exhausting that is. Not to mention that like people literally have like headphone head now. I want my skull to be a normal shape. So I just that wasn't for me. Another thing is like the constant cycle of being beholden to like update cycles and games, 10 hours a week of like sitting in a chair and like getting assaulted by like blue light. It was actually not as glamorous as I thought it would be. And I think a lot of people think it is. Sure, you can make like a fuck ton of money if you're like a big streamer, and that's cool. And there's like clout and whatever. But yeah, it wasn't really for me. After, you know, a while, even doing it kind of part-time, it was really tiring. Part 2, I had a quarter life crisis. So I realized to me that like streaming went from a hobby to a job to a chore. I was obsessed with this website called Twitch Tracker. And Twitch Tracker is a website that you can use to see other people's stream information. So what are their peak viewers, all that stuff. And I would go on it every day and look up people who I kind of knew, my friends in the space, and just look at their stream numbers. I would look at, you know, like how many viewers they were getting, and then I would compare myself to them. And it would always make me feel awful about my content, about myself. I started really seeing my own self-worth as just a number on a Twitch live stream or on a YouTube video. If I told any of my like non-gaming friends this, they would be like, literally go touch grass, Angela. Like now you need it, get off the internet. But it's true. And even when I was hanging out with my friends who were streamers or like content creators, there would be this power dynamic in my head where I was like, this person has more viewers than me. This person has more followers than me. Let me just suck up to them real quick so that they like me more. And that's a shitty person thought to have. I frankly did not like the person I was becoming when I was like deep into streaming and content creation. Part 3, girl bossing into the gaming industry. So I kind of fucked off for a year because I was so burnt out for streaming, attempting to have a social life, having children, I have cats, and being kind of stuck in my like stagnant work environment. I was kind of going through it a bit mental health wise because of that. I actually ended up kind of taking a mental health leave for work because I was, you know, just so burnt out, like stressed out and everything. And to be honest, like during that leave, I just played Baldur's Gate for hundreds of hours and like not shower. Nice. But don't worry, I was also able to soul search for a bit. I was very much so like, what is the meaning of life? Like, what was I put on here to do? Just because I was just not sure what my place was like with streaming and with like my career and stuff. I think what I was able to realize, like stream was always a way and content creation was always a way for me to like share my hyperfixations with people who are similar to me, who also are just like obsessed with the same things, right? And I really missed you guys. I think I also realized that like I wanted to make video games my career, being a streamer was already kind of like a toe into like that pool, so to speak. And I learned so much about the video game industry by, you know, building up this channel, building like a community of gamers, and how to like literally live and speak in like Twitch emotes. I love video games. Okay, how do I like move into this officially? Because I really did enjoy streaming when it was like a way for me to be in the gaming industry. I ended up landing interviews with places like Niantic, which is like Pokemon Go, Hoyoverse, and like other like smaller indie companies, but none of them panned out. So yeah, I was kind of back at square one. Never mind that I literally have experience working for Amazon, and I graduated with a marketing degree from the Wharton School of Business. It's really, really hard out here to get a job. Part 4, a job in this economy. So here's how I actually landed a job. One day, a recruiter at a company that I was interviewing with actually reached out and said, "There's a new company exploring the future of tech and entertainment. Would you like to interview?" And I was like, sign me up. That sounds really cool. I've worked in tech before, and I'm like fascinated by applications of it. And I used to work at like a music and tech company, so like one of the biggest music and tech startups in the US. By the time I like talked to the CEO of the company, I like had 50 questions prepared, and he was literally like, "So why do you think Gen Z likes anime?" And I literally was like, "Let me quote Megan Thee Stallion and also tell you about when I was on COVID anime TikTok." And you know what? Being myself actually worked. I landed my job just based on like quoting like my chronically online wisdom, and also the fact that I kind of already understood the gaming industry, have a proven track record of building an online community based around the game. Part 5, how I'm feeling now, me and also Charli XCX. So when I disappeared from like content in the internet for like a year, what the fuck was I working on? What actually happens when you make a game? I'm working at a company called Anudicon. It's a new company where I'm working with some of my personal heroes. It's really cool. I'm happy to talk a little more about it, but yes, look it up. And it is a company that wants to explore the application of AI in like entertainment and like creating virtual worlds. And yeah, I know there's a lot of discourse around AI right now, especially when it comes to creative fields, and I totally get it. So let me be very clear. Being somebody who works in a company at like the forefront of the AI industry, I think that I am able to like impact how AI is used in a way that I think is true to me. I've always been like really fascinated by emerging technology, always been somebody who is like trying to advocate for technology to be used for good. And I think, you know, being at a company like this where I'm also able to have a voice, I think is really exciting to me. I want to see this technology be used in a way that's like good for society, which is why I'm like really excited to say that our first game coming out called Whispers from the Stars. Subtle plug. It's an interactive story where you have to like help an astronaut named Stella survive space. And the really cool thing is you can talk to her using AI chat. So I would say it's like a mix of the game Facade with a movie like Interstellar, because you get to say literally anything to her. She responds to you, and you get to like, you know, chat with her, learn more about her, build this connection with this AI character while you're in space. What was really exciting to me is that we got to work really closely with a voice actor on like the performance and the voice on it, and make sure that we were really bringing in that like human element into the game as well. And I think it was a really cool blend of like how technology and human talent could like work together in a really collaborative way. And I even got to go to a mocap studio and watch it happen, and it was really, really cool. Yeah, I'm kind of a girl boss. Epilogue. What's next for a girl like me and a channel like this? I mentioned that I have gaming burnout and streaming burnout, and I know that's what a lot of you are here for. And I don't want to make any like definitive statements yet, but I don't think I'll be going back to streaming anytime soon because I have cute little back issues. Sorry. I did love streaming for what it was worth. You might catch me on one of my girlfriend's streams. I would hope, but like thankfully I am still obsessed with video games. And now that I'm like kind of in the industry, I hope I can talk about things with you guys from like more of that perspective instead of just like, you know, like, oh my God, like this character is so sexy, which I still will do. By the way, I'm still like down so bad. And I'm still posting my TikTok about things I'm obsessed with, like Cat's Eye and Expedition 33. Maybe you've seen those, maybe you haven't, but I'm hoping to bring more of those interests to this channel versus just gacha games. And I'm hoping to do more like skits and stuff with my amazing girlfriend, so you might see that, and hopefully bring you guys closer to like my personal life as well. So while the content does shift away from gacha, know that I'm still me, and that I hope that you're watching my videos not just because of my big sexy muscles, but also because of my glowing personality. So with all that said, thank you guys for watching over the past however many years. I'm excited to be back, even though it's maybe in a different capacity, and I'm really happy to be talking to you all again. So let me know what you want to see from this channel now that I'm like kind of stepping away from streaming, kind of doxing myself with my career, and I'll hopefully see you guys soon. Bye!